Hello and welcome to Brycheiniog, the beautiful Welsh National Park, formerly known as Brecon Beacons.
Having just arrived from the south coast of England, we're starting at Dinas Rock, a springboard for some of the fabulous falls in waterfall country. What a place. My focus was going to be the Elidir Trail, which you can start at Port-nedd-Fechan, which is very easy to stay at, or from the opposite end, a very small car park, which I have to say is closed most of the year during higher season. Now that car park is called Port-nedd-Fechan, and it probably has enough space for about 8 or 9 cars. Most of the waterfalls are between this car park and Gwladys, which is off the branch you're about to see now on the map. If you're starting your journey from Port-nedd-Fechan, you'll have 2 eateries there, one offering overnight accommodation as well.
Well, this waterfall is one of the lesser visited ones in the Waterfall district, and I have to say I'm quite pleased about that. Considering it's half term, on quite a nice day, albeit in February, we have only got 6 cars in the car park. I quite like that.
Now, although we had arrived on a rather blue sky day, we knew we were in for a heck of a lot of water over the next few days. So, time to don the wellies, get the kit on the back and go exploring.
Right, if you wanted to go to the falls, you need to go to the end of the car park opposite the rock and make your way back up past the rock.
The ascent starts off fairly straightforwardly. Ignore any turnings off to the left.
Well, this is not magnificently easy. Let me show you what I've got here. So we have quite slippy bits, which people have gone up before, so they're really quite muddy. And at least you've got a handle to hold on to, because you would be on your butt.
I think in drier times of year that would have been fine. It was just incredibly slippy due to the mud. And of course, I'm carrying 12 kilograms on my back. In order to get to the Sychryd waterfall, take your first proper turn right and wend your way down so you're right next to the top of the fall. Classic view is not from up here, it's down where the arrow's pointing, and to access it, well, a bit of a scramble. Luckily there are some semi-ledges and a few tree roots to help you. I recommend good footwear. This multi-level waterfall with a lovely wooden bridge is really good when shot very close to the water. I think getting down low, playing with polarisation and shutter speed is the key to a really good shot here. This is the view through my camera, although I do have a wider shot than this. I'm really liking the turbulence in the foreground, and it's that I want to emphasise in my shot. So here it is, and it's weird what I tend to focus on. I like the little splosh on the foreground on the right hand side. And in order to maintain the texture in the water, because I was so close, I had to go a lot faster than I normally would at 1/4 of a second. Now clearly this place has such a lot of potential, and with the rain coming I knew I wanted to explore other places, a decision I may regret, since when I came back, couldn't get anywhere near it.
Well, I was anticipating being able to scramble down to where I was last time and get some lovely swooshy stuff coming towards me. There is very little definition in the water because it's so powerful, and that bank is about 50 degrees and it's slippery as heck.
So I satisfied myself by staying put and taking a shot from the bridge instead. Oh well, I'll just have to come back.
Well, it's a cracking place. It's a bit bloody sketchy though. Whew. Now I've got to get up there. Right.
You can return to your car via the same route you came in on, or via the slightly easier, if longer route on the opposite side of the river.
This is interesting. I can't turn it off or on. I can turn it on, but the screen sticks like that. Seems it's probably a known issue.
So day 1 of the 3 days of predicted rain, we make our way to the Elidir Falls, but by the Port-nedd-Fechan car park.
Welcome to the Elidir Trail. We are at Port-nedd-Fechan car park, which is closed for most of the year. The only reason we can really visit it is because we are very much off season. The normal place to start is at the village of Port-nedd-Fechan, which is near where we are staying today. The next 3 days that we are due to be here are going to be pretty horrific. So we have decided to come out today and brave the lightest of the rain days before going home, having a little something, watching Barbie.
Not even a joke.
Don't ask. Now the reason I've chosen to come to this car park is simply because the walk is shorter from here, particularly in a bit of a beast of a day like today.
One thing I found useful was the signage around this area, particularly when it came to looking at the analysis of the walks you're about to do. I was about to do the one indicated here with a wow factor of 4 and a crowd factor of 2.
I'm hoping the trees might give us some shelter.
Having donned my plastic trousers and grabbed my sturdiest tripod, I was blissfully unaware of the joys of the Welsh weather was going to impart on us.
Whoa! That's about 6 inches deep there, be careful.
So we reached what I thought was our first officially named waterfall. It wasn't. It was a warm-up act. It didn't stop me from trying though. And in my bid to get down low and try and get something a little bit different, I appeared to have forgotten all the rules of composition, as well as the effect of gravity. Idiot. So I took a couple of shots and we wended our way down to the proper waterfalls.
Whoa.
Despite there being the odd slippy spot, generally it wasn't too bad underfoot, unless we were having to make our way down some semi-gorge sides. Yeah, that got a bit interesting.
Now I am a little bit disappointed with what I managed to get at that last waterfall. I do like to try at least to convey a bit of power when I'm capturing water, and from high up you lose it. When you're down low quite often you can really kind of capture that element quite strongly. Now if you are considering coming to the Elidir Falls or the Waterfall Trail, I genuinely suggest you look at Chris Knight, K-N-I-G-H-T. He's a local walker, hiker who does some really good advice, brings you on site, tells you the pitfalls, and gives you just that little bit of local knowledge and insight. And it's thanks to Chris Knight that I found out about my mini car park for a shorter walk on a day like today. Right, this is Sgwd-Y-Bedol Isaf. I'll show it to you properly in a minute. But as you can see, there is a path coming up, and it looks like you should be able to access that from the lower falls, which are just sort of in the distance there. There is a really treacherous way down to my right, and if it wasn't sopping wet, I might give that a go because it's stepped. Right, so this is my scene. I'm wondering whether or not I can get a double exposure, i.e. a longer one, for those bubbles in the foreground there. I do like that window that's created there by this tree.
Having taken my camera out of the bag, I realised there was too many distractions right in that foreground, so it's back to plan A.
I'm going to attempt a double exposure. One for the bubbles here, with a very slow shutter speed, another one for the waterfall, and try and blend it in post.
So now it's just a matter of trying to find the optimum position for my swirly foreground. Took a few attempts, but I did get it. And yes, I did get my butt in the water. A lot.
Oh, well, I confess, I found that quite exciting. I think what I'm going to do is probably try and combine a 30-second exposure, 25-30-second exposure with a shorter one on the falls itself. But whatever happens, I've done it so that I haven't actually got any overexposed parts, but just being able to get the swirly bits was really good because I couldn't work out any other foreground. Boom! Boom, man!
I'm sorry for the double boom. I will grow up, but I am pleased with this shot. The double exposure worked really well. Yes! It was then that the rain started becoming very intense.
There's lots of places that I want to go, but actually when you put your sensible head on and think, right, I've got another couple of smally trips planned in the next few weeks, well, I don't want to break a leg, really. It's not my plan A. If you stay, on the rocks that have got moss on them, you should be okay. I'm on the moss and he's not. I haven't had 6 broken ribs, he has. Ooh. This is what I've got. I'm feeling I want to get down low in the foreground here and try and make something work.
Don't get too excited, everything was covered with raindrops. I don't know what I thought I was going to achieve.
Oh my God, it is absolutely kicking it down with rain now. Short exposure only, we're going to have to retreat. I don't know if we're going to get to the final fall, but this is a bonkers. Well, it is absolutely chucking it down now, and my camera's stopped working. So I guess that's made a decision. Go home, dry it out, hope for the best, and come back tomorrow when it's less like this. Right, I've come back today because yesterday my camera died. We have had 24 hours worth of rain, and I just need you to see the effect it's had just on the river by the bridge near the car park. This is the first waterfall, officially. I took a photo of yesterday with lovely swirls in front, and today it is absolutely pounding. I am thinking it might be a fruitless task I'm doing today. Oh well. This, I believe, is Horseshoe Falls, leading up to waterfall number 2 in the background.
I was right. The waterfalls had really lost their individuality and personality, and the path was closed after this point due to a fallen tree and a broken bridge. So we decided to take the afternoon off and start again the next day from Port-nedd-Fechan so we could explore Sgwd-Y-Bedol, one of the main reasons I wanted to go in there in the first place.
This is the village of Port-nedd-Fechan.
And the start of the Elidir Falls from the normal end. If you're going to refer to my earlier map, start at the bottom. From this, the south end of the trail, the path's really easy going, and you'll see evidence of its past silica mines and railway tracks.
When I initially first booked these 4 days away, I was genuinely thinking I was going to be able to do the Four Falls Trail as well, which under normal circumstances I'm sure I would have been able to. However, we've lost at least half a day every day due to heavy rainfall in the afternoon. So I thought, let's be sensible. Let's focus on one trail and a couple of extra waterfalls. I'm glad I did, because I think going up and down to see the waterfalls and the 4 waterfall trail would have been really quite treacherous and just made it quite miserable. Sensible for once in my life.
After a lovely meander going up the river, you end up in an area with a number of bridges. Cross over the bridge, turn left, and you're gonna hit Sgwd-Y-Bedol. Your classic view is side on, sort of from this area. However, when you have lower water, you can really get in and start being a little bit more creative.
Things I'm particularly liking: the potential for streaks in the water and this lovely greenness in the background. So hopefully I can do a couple of shots that can really utilise that.
So I set to work, and as previously, I decided to do a double exposure, a longie for the foreground and a shortie to keep some detail in that fall. In this case, the foreground and midground were at 30 seconds and the background was again at 0.3. It's worth taking this short walk just to have a look over from the top of the falls as well.
Now we have 1 hour to get back to our place before the rain hits. And we've got ourselves a bit of posh nosh this afternoon whilst we sit there and the rain pounds around us. But I'm happy in the knowledge I've got a few shots I'm quite pleased with. Well, thank you for joining me today in what has been a rather eventful and rainy Welsh adventure. If you have discerned value in what you've seen today, I'd love it if you could give me a like or a subscribe, or even tell somebody else about me. That would be very, very cool. Meanwhile, take care. I'll see you next time.